Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your time zone. Welcome to my channel. My name is Ogbanje Joseph. Please subscribe to my channel, share, like, as well as drop a comment on the comment section. So today we are continuing our series on the approaches to the study of international organization. Approaches to the study of international organization. So today's the first approach we are looking at today is intergovernmentalism. Now, intergovernmentalism is one of the foremost approaches that explains the process of integration. This approach is in contrast to neo-functionalism. This is because of the theory's rejection of the concept of spillover effect, and that supranational organizations are on equal level as national governments. Intergovernmentalism is premised on the assumption that governments control governments control the level and speed of state integration, and as such any increase in power at supranational level results from a direct decision by government. In effect, the integrative options of national government are consequences of subsisting domestic political and economic issues. Intergovernmentalism became recognized as a theoretical approach in the wake of the European integration in the 1960s. This was a period in which countries in Europe embraced collaboration in major areas, especially the industrial and technical areas. The cooperation of the period has metamorphosed into European Union. Intergovernmentalism borrowed largely from the realist perception of the state as power-seeking and national interest protection political entity. Now, through the theoretical prism of intergovernmentalism, a convergence is established between the protection of national interest and the will of the states, to cooperate as the main motivation for integration. For the purposes of theoretical explanations, intergovernmentalism assumes states and especially national government as the basic actors in the integration process. Furthermore, the approach lays emphasis on the importance of institutions on international politics and the significant impact of domestic political occurrences on government's positions and policies. Specifically, the approach hinges on the perception that while states cooperate in specific fields, military, technical, etc., sovereignty is adequately guided and retained. Furthermore, intergovernmental organizations exist from the basis that powers are not shared with other actors, and they take their decisions by unanimity, unlike the case with supranational institutions. Okay, so now let us look at another approach to the study of international organization. Another approach is supranationalism. That's a theory of supranationalism. Now let's look at it this way: that as a theoretical approach, supranationalism explains the process by which power is held and decisions are taken by independent appointed officials or by representatives selected by the legislatures or people of the member states of a union. The union is a type of multinational confederation or federation where negotiated power is delegated to an authority by governments of member states to stop. Okay, now invariably member states governments still have power, but they must share this power with other actors created from the union. Now, the existence of a supranational union is predominantly based on agreements, okay, between sovereign member states, and to that extent established by international treaties. Okay, so usually the union is free to pursue its agenda, an agenda which is meant to be a cumulative interest of member states and not that of a single member state. Sometimes, therefore, the positions of a supranational body may not necessarily fall in line with the policy positions of some of the member states. Now, the relationship between the supranational union and the member states is also such that the body may only have legal supremacy over member states in areas and competences that the member state governments have ceded their powers and authority to the union. For the citizens of member states, while retaining their national citizenship, they are also conferred with rights and privileges of citizenship of the supranational union. As against the situation with states in a federal superstate, sovereignty lies with the governments and people of member states, although some parts of the sovereignty may be shared with or ceded to the emergent supranational organization. Now, it is argued that member states derive immense benefits from supranational association, partly because such agreements encourage stability and trust as a result of binding clauses that would not permit the breaking of accords, at will without consultation. Furthermore, there are the mutual advantages of economies of scale, common external tariff, non-protectionism, common positions on global issues, improved international trust, support for political development, and among others. Finally, the supranational union encourages democracy and equal representation in its activities. In effect, decisions are reached through majority votes, and as it happens in democracies, the minority have their way while the majority have their say while the majority have their way. Thus, member states may be obliged, to accept decisions against their will. However, in contrast to a federal government, membership is voluntary, and therefore states can opt out of the union at their decision. This form of integration is difficult to come by in the present interstate system, except for the case of the European Union and this South American Community of Nations. Thank you very much.